Okay, you guys, don't get the bright idea like I did and go out and buy this thinking you're going to speed yourself up. This is a not. This is too small for the truck tires, and I didn't. I thought these are not. These are factory tires on this diesel pickup. These are not oversized rims or oversized tires. This should be fine. And then, I mean, I know this is good for cars, but the problem is I should have left one of the wheels on here. This doesn't reach to the other side of the wheel when the wheel's sitting on top of this, so that this actually flips up inside. So I think if I make a plate on the bottom, weld a plate to it, and then bolt it to my bolts here on the floor, I'll be able to get away with using it for the like truck size tires. But with the 37 by 1350s on my Jeep, this is never going to work. This is never going to do the job. And that Jeep has the same TPMS sensors in it that my truck does. So of course it's a Chrysler product. Anyway, so don't get a bright idea that this is going to work for you unless you do some finagling with it. Even with this breaker bar, I had all the leverage and all the force I could develop, but this bottom kept trying to lift up, and then the whole thing would tip, and then it just wasn't working at all. So I tried to bounce it and I was just wasting my time. So I'll show you how I did it instead. So I remember somebody saying in some forum a long time ago that, Harbor Freight tools, a lot of them take some massaging. That was the word he used, massaging, to get them to do what you want them to do, or to get them to work right, or and not so true anymore. Although some of these things, like this is really made for car tires. My diesel pickup, they're basically 31s. They're 31 inches tall. And so this part right here is flipping up inside the wheel, because the wheel sticks around here like this. And so this is flipping up inside the wheel when I tried to break the bead. So I'm having to put an extension on here. And I think I'm just going to use this. This is some leftover 3/16 by 1 inch. This isn't quite 1 inch. It's just under 1 inch, but this is going to stick up just a tiny, tiny bit there, and that's okay. We're talking like a 16th. So I'm going to weld it here and here, weld it across here and up the sides. Of course, end weld these. I'm going to drill a hole in that one before I weld that one on with a mag drill, and just to make sure that if I never need to hook a strap here and run it up over the tire, and maybe run the strap down around this frame and back up and hook it somewhere, so that I can in case the back of the tire is trying to flip up. And so, yeah, we're going to drill a hole there. And I'm a little worried about drilling a cross hole in this little square here. So I'm probably not going to do that. If worst comes to worst, I might find that I weld a tab somewhere here that sticks up a little bit. Hopefully won't ever hit a wheel. But the inside edge of the wheel basically hits right here. Okay, so I think that'll be okay if I weld up a little tab right there just to hook a hook on, just in case I need to run a strap. I don't know if I'll need to or not. And then obviously this bar is not going to be long enough, so I've got to get either an extension bar, cheater bar. This is 1 inch outer, and it's about 13/16 inner, maybe just a whiff bigger than 13/16, but it's not quite 7/8. So, I'll try to get something with a 1 inch inner that I can slide over this, or 13/16 outer that I can slide inside it, or maybe a little bit smaller, but something heavy duty that I can slide in pretty far. And then hopefully nothing will break in between there and down here, because I'll be putting a lot more stress on it with the cheater bar. That's stressing these components here, right? And so I don't know what's going to happen. We'll find out. Okay, so bead breaker, 4 height adjustments, rugged steel, works with most car and light truck tires. Okay, maybe there's specs that I didn't read online, but this half ton or this 3/4 ton Dodge diesel is a light truck. I don't know. They make 3/4 ton trucks. Are those light trucks? 1 ton trucks? Half ton? Does it have to be half ton to be light? I don't know. I do know the tire is 31 inches tall, so that when the tire tread hits right here and then comes down here, this piece right here, this was the end of the original frame, still inside the rim. So this is what was flipping up inside the rim this way, and I couldn't break the bead. So I welded this on. I did drill a 7/16 a hole with a mag drill, just in case I want to hook a strap here and run it over the tire to hold this backside down. Or I can stand on it, I guess. I don't know how this is going to work. We'll find out. Weld it all up and down on each side, inside and outside. So it should be pretty strong. It should do the job. The inside of the rim, the edge of the rim hits right about here on this truck. So, the overall length that I made this was 34 inches. So I extended it out from 21 to 34. This should stick past the 31 inches that my total tire height is to right here, 31 about right here. And that'll give me room to hook a strap here if I need to. And also plenty metal underneath it. Okay, so let's drop the spare. I want to see if there's a TPMS in the spare, and let's try this out. Okay, just so you can see, this is this is overall 31 inches. This is what is this? 265 70 17. So this is a 17-inch wheel, and you can see this is all the way up against that right there. That's as far as that can go, and you can see the edge of the original frame is right there, and that's 4 or 5 inches short of the inside of the rim. So you can see why that would just, when I'd go to press down on the bead right here, this thing would just stand up, and I couldn't get any leverage. So now we've got some extension past it right here with the frame I made, and let's try it out. We got the core out. So it's making the valve stem twist over. I want to make sure if there is a TPMS in here, I'm not smashing it. All right, let's try that again. What happened? There we go. Okay. So that's kind of neat, that automatically reset as it goes lower. Okay, so the bead's broken. There's no TPMS on this spare. Just a regular valve stem. Okay, well, let's get it back on the bead. Okay, just sprayed the bead that I broke and snapped back together. Sprayed it down with soap water. There's no bubbling anywhere. So, bead should have made a good seal. Sprayed some soap water right there just to make sure nothing was leaking around the core that I took out. Looks good from my house. And so good. I worried, I want to make sure, I'm going to leave this off overnight. I'm 98% confident that this is going to be a good bead and it's not going to leak, but I'm going to put it back under the truck and I'm going to forget about it just like you would any spare. And until I take it out, if it's, I do keep a compressor in the truck, but I'd rather have the tire full. I put it at 70 pounds. So I'll check it in the morning just to make sure it didn't drop any. And if it did, I'll break the bead again and clean it and then reseat it and try again. There's always a chance of dirt or something getting in there, right? And I washed the tire before, that's why it looked wet, and I had washed it pretty good before, so I felt pretty confident that there was no trash in there, but I still should have run a rag around there and checked the bead and checked the inside of the rim and made sure there was nothing, no build up there. Okay.